Hi, I'm Judy Wright with Seneca County Cooperative Extension, and I'm entering my third year as the Ag Resource Educator. The next few slides will give you a few highlights of the agriculture program. Cooperating with both county partners and the 3 regional ag teams, we had some exceptional programming lined up until COVID-19 hit. Planning for Transition was held at the Cayuga Community College and was held as a resource fair to assist farms that are preparing for the next or new owner-operators. Farming in the Watershed was a continuation of a successful series started in 2019, and we look forward to continuing it post-COVID-19. With CCE Ontario, we held a beef summit and published a white paper of findings. Perhaps coincidentally, the New York State Small Farms Program is holding a webinar on one of these reported findings. We were able to move a few planned programs virtually, with the harmful algal blooms and invasive mussels as an example. And I was able to complete a risk management subcontract by authoring a USDA Risk Management Agency fact sheet for extension educators, both in and outside of the Cornell system, who may be new to working with military veterans. The Seneca County CCE was one of many extension associations to implement the governor's New York State Clean Hand Sanitizer program and face mask distribution. This was intended to help keep farm workers safe from COVID-19. To date, we've reached almost 200 Seneca County farms and ag-related businesses. I'd like to play a brief video that showcases the system-wide effort put forth, but keep a keen eye to see if you can determine how many shots feature Seneca County's efforts.
The horticulture and master programming area was able to accomplish a few things pre-COVID, like giving talks to the beekeepers, attending a Farmers Market Federation of New York conference, and we were able to hold our largest event, Let's Garden Day, in Ovid in early March. One of our first events post-COVID was to host horticulture and master gardener chats via Zoom on Mondays from 10 to 11 a.m., where people could Zoom in and ask us questions in real time and just chat about their gardening experiences. We helped with content for the Ag Literacy book video and also with putting together the seed kits that were distributed to local schools and to the community through our local libraries. Cornell Garden-Based Learning helped us get information out with their Just Planted New York Food Gardening for All campaign. People were vegetable gardening more than ever and out in their yards taking care of their plants, and had many questions that were called in or emailed to us at the office. With the help of master gardeners, we were able to answer these through emails and through home visits. Farmers markets were a challenge this year, but we were able to work with the Farmers Market Federation of New York and New York State Ag and Markets and come up with safe guidelines for all of our markets to be able to open. Ovid Farmers Market in Ovid, the Seneca Falls Market, and the Waterloo Rotary Farm Market. Everyone was very respectful and followed the new guidelines for shopping at the local markets. I think everyone was just happy to be able to be out in the nice weather and buying local and supporting local farmers and producers. One of the Master Gardener volunteers' other big events is the Wreath Workshop, held in November, in person usually. However, this year we came up with the idea of having wreath kits. So we were able to give people what you see on the left, and they created what you see on the right and in the following frames. These are just two of the creations that were made by the people who participated in our wreath kit workshop, where 25 people signed up and drove through Oak Island for a no-contact pickup, and then went home and were able to make some beautiful creations with their families. Our Master Gardener volunteer group may be small, but they are mighty, and they have stuck with us and persevered through these times. They were instrumental in putting together the 25 kits, organizing our garden day, and helped answer many questions throughout the year. Without them, none of our work would be possible.
It's hard to believe how quickly this year has gone by. We're fortunate to have the 4-H families that we have. They're incredible people, and I feel lucky to work with all of them. This year was anything but boring, and I'm proud of the resilience and flexibility that Seneca County 4-H has shown. Our programming this year has included natural resources, conservation, and 4-H shooting sports programs like air rifle, in which we had 10 youth, 1 volunteer, and myself, a combination of in-person and at-home archery programming for 20 youth with 4 instructors, our virtual outdoor education field day, which we saw 4 school districts and had 8 workshops, including 1 youth presenter and 5 of our staff, hunting, conservation, and wildlife workshops, where we had 12 youth and 2 staff, shooting sports trainings, where we sent 2 new volunteers and 2 staff instructors for the archery, air pistol, and muzzleloader disciplines, statewide archery postal match, where we had 11 participants and 4 instructors, New York State 4-H forestry weekend, where we had 2 participants, both new to Seneca County 4-H, and 1 staff, our pheasant rearing workshop and day-old chick program. We distributed 2,500 pheasant chicks in Seneca County. We did 4-H fishing programs for our neighbors in Wayne and Monroe counties, and had a waterfowl hunting, conservation, and shotgun safety series, which we had 8 youth, 2 staff, 3 volunteers, and incredible support and partnerships for that program. We also had agriculture and animal science programming, including 1 tractor safety session before we shut down, with 15 youth, 2 volunteers, and myself. We had our district dairy bowl and horse extravaganza, where we sent 7 youth. Virtual dairy judging course, we had 4 youth participate in that, as well as myself. 4-H animal showcase for poultry, rabbit, and pets. That was great. We had 10 youth participate in that, 3 staff, and we had 3 volunteer judges, some incredible 4-H alum included. Sustainability programming, we had Sustainable Seneca at Minders Academy with 15 youth, 2 adults, and myself. We had our virtual Earth Day presentations and projects, which were widely shared and included all of us here at Seneca County CCE. We had Seneca Green meetings at Minders in March, and again recently via Zoom in November. And of course, our CCE Albany Day, in which 1 4-H youth and myself took the energy bike and sustainability displays to our friends in Albany.
Good evening. My name is Robin Marie Houseworth. I am the 4-H after school educator for the elementary through middle school grades within the South Seneca School District. This year has definitely been different for students, 4-H members, and other participants due to COVID-19. During the months before the pandemic really took hold, after school sessions were all hands-on and in person. On average, we delivered the after-school 4-H program to 50 youth ages 8 to 13 weekly. We had a lot of fun exploring many topics such as electricity, making conductive Play-Doh, animal science, building animal habitats, and nutrition, healthy living skills, baking apple wraps. In the months to follow, change once again came into play. The 4-H youth development teams in each Finger Lakes District County came together and created the Finger Lakes 4-H Learning Launchpad. The 4-H staff and 4-H members throughout the counties created over 124 project lessons through pre-recorded videos and handouts as another avenue to offer quality programming to the youth of our region. The platform became very popular and has been shared throughout the state and the national 4-H level. Video views range from 100 to over 6,000, and the page maintains over 800 regular followers. During the months that we were unable to meet in person, the 4-H Youth Development Team continued to develop ways of reaching our audiences. CCE, 4-H, and the 4-H held 4-H chat office hours through Zoom for over 3 months, and we had the pleasure of seeing our participants learning what they've been up to and responding to questions and concerns. As time went on, the summer session, as usually held in the middle school, was not going to be able to occur. Thus, the Seneca County 4-H team had the opportunity to collaborate with the Ovid Library. All sessions were held outside with an average of 15 participants, mostly the youth, with a few parents and volunteers joining in. The reading circle was my favorite part, reading a book to the youth and then creating an item from the story. One example was a sustainable food and agricultural lesson on dairy. I read Little House on the Prairie aloud and worked with the youth and families in attendance to make their own butter in a mason jar. We've returned to offering monthly Try It Tuesday workshops with a new twist, using the Zoom platform to deliver the activities with staff members guiding the way. We had 10 participants for the first session, Painting with Fiber, and look forward to another fiber art session this week. As this COVID-19 virus pandemic has not ended, either have the ways in which we as the Seneca County Cooperative Extension and the 4-H Youth Development Team are sharing ideas that are fun, interesting, and useful to Seneca County and the surrounding communities.
Hello, everyone. I am Rachel Williams, Seneca County Cornell Cooperative Extension 4-H Youth Development Program Leader. To round out our 2020 4-H Youth Development Program impacts, I'd like to highlight some of the work we've been involved in that encompasses the New York State 4-H mission mandates of healthy living, sustainable agriculture, and food systems, as well as a few of our signature and flagship programs, activities, and events that were adapted to meet our current situation. We were fortunate to have the opportunity to explore healthy living and our food systems in a variety of ways. We had our annual Produce New York State demonstration event. We offered Choose Health, Food, Fun, and Fitness classes, both in person and virtually. These classes are funded in large part by the National 4-H Walmart Healthy Habits Grant. We offered these classes in schools, in after school, and in distance learning environments to 3rd, 4th, 5th, and middle school students throughout the county. We also enjoyed the celebration of this year's Agriculture Literacy Week book reading and sharing with countywide 1st and 2nd graders, both in person and for the majority, virtually. The book, titled This Very Minute, A Table to Farm book about food and farming, was a great read, and we had the pleasure of continuing to partner with our colleagues in other major program areas, including nutrition, farm to school, horticulture, and agriculture. Though our programming in these areas after mid-March was modified to distance learning models, we still reached over 525 youth with the assistance of 25 staff and volunteers. Youth and volunteers alike explored healthy living habits and choices while also learning to place a value on where their food comes from. Although our circumstances for delivery of our programs varied, we are pleased that our members, additional participants, volunteers, and families persevered, and we were still able to highlight all of our mission mandates and maintain our focus on positive youth development and thriving in our public presentations program, our version of our fair with a showcase captured in a variety of ways, socially distanced in person, evaluations through the use of the Zoom platform, pre-recorded videos and photo submissions, and displays of youth project work at the Rochester Museum of Play and locally at the Ovid Three Bears. And our annual achievement celebration that we took on the road and we visited individual members, families, and clubs outside at their homes and public spaces in the spirit of, surprise, you've won, Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes sort of delivery. We were so excited to see 4-Hers and volunteers in whatever way we could, and over 80 youth and adults participated in these modified versions of our signature flagship programs. Lastly, in an effort to learn and grow and support the youth and families of our county, Robin, Nate, and myself have dove right into a variety of professional development learning opportunities and facilitation opportunities for modified program planning and delivery guidelines across the state and country. We are fortunate to work within such a rich system of Cornell Cooperative Extension and 4-H, where we have been able to put our focus on the social, emotional, and physical well-being of the youth and volunteers we work with. We are grateful for the support and encouragement of all of you and look forward to supporting Seneca County youth and families for many more years.
Hi, this is Mo with the Food and Family Program update for the year. Farm to School started out with a trip to Albany, where we got to meet with legislators and other folks in the capital area about Cornell Cooperative Extension and farm to school programming in particular. We helped the school districts serve new menu items such as butternutty mac and cheese and fresh cut French fries from local potatoes. Some students in the Seneca Falls School District also were able to make sauerkraut from fresh cabbage, which was really fun. Candace, our farm to school educator, was able to help many of the elementary students start seedlings in their classrooms that would later be planted into school gardens. And some of the students were able to even present this information to their boards of education. Every March, we partner with 4-H Youth Development to help them read the Ag Literacy book. This year's book was about farm to table, so it was very fitting for farm to school activities. Of course, March was a strange time, and we had to all get together as a CCE team, with Rachel taking the lead, to make that a video version of this book so that we were then able to share it with the rest of the students and the families in the county when everybody was homebound. We taught a warming soups and stews class in January in Waterloo and Ovid, and then we also taught a bread baking workshop, which was timely because this information was then on our website for people that started baking at home. When the schools shut down in March, we weren't able to do our normal farm to school spring plantings. So again, the whole CCE team got together and we created home garden kits that went home to students and families in the county with organic soil and seedlings. These were handed out through the schools and other ways of distribution. And then Candace kept everybody up to date with videos on how to start your seeds, how to transplant the seedlings, growing them all the way through to the cucumbers, tomatoes, and lettuce that were then made into a salad. South Seneca did manage to get some beets into their school garden, so when those were done and ready to be harvested, we picked them and sent them home to families through the Food Link food distribution, along with recipes and preparation tips on how to enjoy beets. This fall, Farm to School focused on foods that were easy for schools to source locally, such as New York State dairy products and apples. It was National Apple Month and also National Farm to School Month in October, and so we highlighted a different apple variety every day of the month on our Farm to School Facebook page. We created some Farm to School virtual farm tours to Kingtown Orchard and Lively Run Goat Dairy, and also to Pursune's Dairy, and that way we were able to get the students learning more about agriculture from their homes. A big shout out to our Cornell dietetic intern who helped us this semester, Maddie. She helped create these videos. She also was at the Farmers Market Nutrition Program for most of the early fall and late summer, and she created lots of great recipe videos for us to use as well. Thank you, Maddie. Resources for cooking wild game and fish through the Wild Harvest Table program were very important to people this year in particular, as more people took up hunting for the first time and fishing and all those recreational activities to help get through trying times. We also were able to partner with the New York State DEC, becoming an outdoor woman program, and we taught a virtual class on making venison veal cutlets. Despite the challenges of the year 2020, the Food and Family Program was able to continue mission, and definitely check out all the great virtual resources that are now available on our website pages and Facebook pages.